I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly.
Well, the next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Teofimo Lopez fires back at his critics on a post that he put up on Instagram, and he had some words to say. So let's take a look at the post. He wrote, "Before you talk, what have you accomplished in 24 years? Before you talk, what would you have going for yourself other than a YouTube channel? LOL. Before you talk, what history have you broken? Before you talk, remind yourself I reflect all of your insecurities. Before you talk, focus on your life rather than others. And lastly, before you talk, I follow the Alpha and the Omega. Hashtag child of God." So, I'm going to turn it over to you, Trill Dollar Bill. What's your reaction to Teofimo Lopez firing back at his critics?
Oh man, I gave you the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, that you needed some time, like all my other fighters that I've always backed that did silly things at the fights. But if you've seen with time, you know what I'm saying? You know, they give. I can't support this. I'm not even. I just can't support it, yo. Now you're a sore loser. I jumped out the window for you. You know, I jumped out the window for you. I said, you know, you just took your first loss. It's a lot going on in your life. But now, time has passed. And you still ain't give that man Kambosos his props. You done said everything else. But you still ain't give this man his props. You lost. You lost, fam. I don't care if you feel in your heart that you won, but dog, you lost. At the end of the night, the other man's hands was raised. The judges scored it for him. Say you're gonna come back and you're gonna be stronger. All you're doing is hurting yourself. You're better than that. I thought you was a better champion than that. I'm just a little disappointed because you had time to reflect. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You can go at you can go at everybody, but give Kambosos some credit. You haven't mentioned him at all. And this is what's making you a sore loser. That's all. It's just disappointing. I'm just sorry. I'm just disappointed because I went swinging for you, man.
All right, conspirator Crocodile Dundee.
Man, listen, I feel bad for the kid because this kind of reminds me of the Wilder effect. It's hard for these guys to accept the loss, you know. So it's like in your mind, if you think you're the greatest, right? Like you can't have any form of doubt, right? And so they justify things in their head to maintain that mentality, right? And so maybe it's needed for a fighter to stay at the top elite level. They may have to think this way, right? But sometimes you got to have people in your corner that just say, "Hey, man, listen, I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should put that post up," you know, because when you think about it, the people that he's actually critiquing are the people that promote the sport, you know, like, a lot of people had something to say, but hey, man, you put yourself in there. That's the life you chose, right? It's kind of like if a person wants to be an actor, right, or what's them social like the Kim Kardashians, what's the reality stars, right? Reality TV stars and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like
TV.
you open your life up to the world, but then you get upset when people are critiquing things that are going on in your life. It doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be a professional elite boxer, just know people gonna critique your performance, right? Same thing goes with actors, actresses, with musicians, anything where politicians, anything where you're the face of something, where people either pay or tune in to watch you. Just know if people don't like what you're saying or doing, they're gonna be vocal about it, right? But these are the same people that support you. They buy the tickets, they pay for the pay-per-views, they do whatever it takes for you to be a millionaire or a multi-millionaire. So it doesn't make sense for you to be that excuse me, like a anal about it, right? Unless me, I go, all right, let me try to understand. Pause. Let me try to understand where this kid is coming from. He's still young. Same thing with what's his name? Haney. They're young, they're immature. So I look at Haney, Teofimo, what's the other kid? Ryan. I look at them all the same. It's like they're victims of their success. And sometimes certain people get it too early where they're not really reflective of themselves and their behavior. You can say that about AB. I think Tank's changing, but early on, Tank was like that as well. The Charlos. You know what I mean? A lot of brothers, it's hard for them to take criticism because they go like, yo, I got it from the mud. I did this on my own and I proved this to myself. So, they're cool with all the applause and the congratulations. But when it comes to the criticisms, like, you should have did this, you could have did better, or the disappointments, like, yo, you got mopped, you got beat, you got this, that destroys your ego, And so I kind of feel like Teofimo is he's experiencing the Wilder effect. It's just, some guys just can't take an L because it doesn't make sense in their mind when they told themselves and they believe it that I'm great. I'm the greatest. He's probably like, yo, I'm the greatest at 135. I'm going to mop this division and go up to 140 and take that over too. So now when he got beat by unknown Kambosos, in his mind, he's like, nah, there's no way. He probably, in the fight, he probably really believed when he said, yo, 11-2. You know what I mean? He probably believed that in his mind. Like, you know what? There's no way the judges are going to give those rounds to Kambosos because I'm the champion, this, that, and third. And then when he got hit with the loss, he's probably like, damn, this is crazy. And then all the criticism.
It was the announcer's fault. It was the announcer's fault.
But, all the criticism he took on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, even on the major platforms, ESPN, everybody was talking about that fight. Yo, the kid's young, man. So I'm willing to forgive him for this. But I feel like an OG should, talk to him, be like, yo, bro, I don't think you want to go in this direction. Because people have, because I feel like judges look at this too. So then the next time you get into a close fight, judges are going to swing towards the other guy because they just don't like your personality. So he has to look at this as, even outside the ring, you still got to look at it as a business decision. Sometimes, man, it's better just keep your mouth shut. Even if you believe in your heart of hearts, be the bigger person. Like, I'm pretty sure Anthony Joshua will be in his mind thinking, yo, this is some BS. But he going to smile for the cameras and say the politically correct answers. I think all champions should follow what the blueprint of Anthony Joshua. You could play the bad guy role, just know it comes with a lot of negative responses. And I don't know if Teofimo's ready for that, especially what he did towards ESPN. And, he was gassing the zone. Now he's running back to ESPN. I don't know, man. So I think the less is more for Teofimo right now.
Oh, Bill, you like you had something to say?
No. I just didn't want to make no excuses because I went out on a limb and I went out swinging, saying that I give him some time, and he still didn't. And then I don't want to make no say because his age and his new catch, because we just seen what happened to Jose Vargas with the Sabita fight and how humble this young man has been after that and getting right back to work, no excuses. And he got knocked out. After everybody saying he was being cocky and all this. And look how he handled that at a young age. So I'm disappointed in Lopez in this, because not only you're attacking other people. This is like you said, G. These are people that are critiquing your fight. These are judges. These are people in the sport. This can hurt you later with a close fight. This you don't know. You don't know. It's how you handle things. It's how you handle things. But yeah, that's all I wanted to add. It's not about age. It's just it's comes sometimes it's professionalism and who you are as a person, you know, because we done seen other fighters, you know what I'm saying, that walked out the ring, not say nothing, but then you done seen these guys give props to that guy later or be hanging out with him in the club that night, but they didn't, you know what I'm saying? But I just would love to see him say, good fight. You know what I mean? The best man won. You know, I'm getting back to the drawing board. That's all.
All right, Ned the TBE.
Man, listen, Tio needs to learn. You gotta shut out the world after a loss like this, man. You can't be on social media thinking you're gonna find people that side with you or feel you felt robbed. You gotta come to acceptance with this loss, man. At a young age, you're handling it really. You're 24 years old, you're handling it really immaturely, and to go online and have this emotional breakdown is just like showing like you're really sore loser. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. What was it? When the Patriots lost their undefeated season to the Giants, I didn't watch when we lost those two Super Bowls to the Giants. I didn't watch ESPN for a week. Like I'm not going on anything sports related. I'm not hearing them bash the Patriots or anything like that. I just turn my mindset to something different. And then a week later, it's something else trending on ESPN. Blah blah blah. But Tio, you just gotta learn. You gotta be mature about it. You gotta understand, like, you're not perfect, and you lost, man. You gotta hear it. If somebody in your corner gotta tell you lost, you played, you fought a terrible fight that night, and it is at this point you just gotta come to acceptance and stay off of social media and get back in the gym, man. You gotta just come to terms. I guess he's going through the 5 stages of grief or whatever, denial, whatever. Well, you know what it is. You know the stages until he finally comes to accepting that he finally lost and move forward. So that's all.
All right, I'm gonna run through some of what he said and just break it down. He said, before you talk, what have you accomplished in 24 years? So, I mean, basically the way he wrote it, you can pick any 24 years of your life, right? Not just like the first 24. But he's speaking as though the only accomplishments that matter are the accomplishments in boxing. Now I would say to Teofimo Lopez, let's look at it from a different perspective. All the things you've done in boxing, and it was reported that you had $20,000 in your bank account before your fight with George Kambosos. So what if I told you at 24 I had $20,000 in my bank account too? So I've accomplished the same thing as you, right? It looks different though. I'm just trying to educate them, because it's like, you said so. In fact, I'm saying probably had more. so all I'm saying to you is you gotta be careful with what you're saying. Just because you did all that in the ring, like, the outcome is supposed to be income, right? At the end of the day, that's what you're doing it for. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of 24-year-olds in this world, trust me, that could show you 20K in their bank account, T.O. Like, no cap. They have been about their business. They've been working jobs since they were 16 years old. They've been saving money. They went to school. They went to college. They got good careers, and they've been saving their money. In fact, some of them are smart. They've been living with their parents after they got out of college and just stacking and stacking. So I can assure you, bro, there are a lot of 24-year-olds in America who could show you 20K in their bank account. And they didn't even net as much as you have. So think about that, Teofimo Lopez. All right, so we're going to move on to, before you talk, What do you have going for yourself other than a YouTube channel? LOL. Bro, YouTube channel is just a lot of. Sean Porter got a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Yard got a YouTube channel. Anthony Joshua has a YouTube channel. A lot of people, Teddy Atlas, a lot. YouTube channels are just now the way you communicate to the world, just like social media. You got your social media. Just because someone has a YouTube channel doesn't mean they don't do other things. It doesn't mean that they don't have other ventures, that they don't have successful careers. You hear at the Boxing Bros, we do this show one day out of the week because we're busy handling our career. We do this show because we actually to help us in our life. So we're not arguing boxing when we're at the gym. So we're not arguing boxing when we're at like baby showers, weddings, and whatever, which is what used to happen. So we do this show so we don't have to do that. It's just like, all right, we're going to get it all out of the way and do this show. And another thing, as someone with a YouTube channel, Tio, when we do this, we get criticized too. All like the last 2 weeks, I've been reading I'm a crackhead because people don't like my opinion. Tio, I've never done a drug in my life, not even weed, bro. Not everyone here can tell you I don't even drink. They've never seen me drink. I don't do the stuff. People calling me a crackhead in the comment section, I read it and I laugh. I brush it off. They don't know me. And I bet you if you audit my life and you audit their life, the person with the history of drug use isn't me. But you just got to know yourself, Tio. You can't. The thing about it is people have a right to have an opinion about the product you put out. So whether I like what they say about me or not, they watch. Only thing I can say is, hey, at least they watched. I may not agree with their opinion. I may not like what they say about me, but they watched. And you know what? And also, another thing I want to say is I've made jokes about Benavidez and Oscar De La Hoya in their history with using. And one of our users said to me they didn't appreciate the jokes we made about De La Hoya. We took a poll, we did everything. We said, all right, we're gonna do our best not to do that, but we don't mean it in a disrespectful way. But the point I'm making is, if I'm gonna make jokes about Benavidez, if I'm gonna make jokes about Oscar De La Hoya, when I look in the comment section and people are calling me crackhead, I can't all of a sudden be like, oh man, y'all attacking me. Y'all are attacking me. You just gotta take it in stride. They probably mean it the same way in which I meant it when I was saying it, which wasn't to really be like, yo, these dudes, it was in a joking way. It was in like, you know, just a speaking way. Like, oh man, what are you smoking? Like, yo, this dude, man, like, oh, are you on drugs? Like, you know, in that way. So I say that because Tio, when Deontay Wilder had his issues, when Deontay Wilder couldn't accept his defeat, I recall Tio going in on Wilder. I recall Tio calling Wilder the B word. I remember that. Am I wrong? Tio called Wilder the B word. Only to turn around now and stop behaving the same way that Wilder was behaving when he had his loss.
Wilder effect.
The only difference is Wilder ain't call you nothing. Wilder didn't say nothing about you. Which reminds me of something I was always taught. Like, you don't judge no one where they're at because you don't know how far they've come. And you also don't know what you would do if you were actually in someone else's shoes. The irony is you were actually in Wilder's shoes and look at the way you took it. And the difference is Wilder actually took a concussion, well, or at least if he didn't take a concussion, he took a really bad beating. You actually didn't have someone throwing a towel. You actually didn't take that type of beating, and you still pull this. So, you know, and I'm going to get back onto it quickly. Well, as quickly as I can. I apologize. Before you talk, remind yourself I reflect all your insecurities. Are you sure? Or are you just insecure about what people are saying about you?
Thank you.
Are you just insecure about what people say about you? When I read the comments of what people say about me, it don't bother me because I know I'm coming from a place of logic. If I'm not, I would check myself. If I wasn't, the other faces you see on the screen would check me like, bro, you going off the cliff with it. Or I would do the same for them. That's what brothers are supposed to do. So, like, again, you sitting around, maybe you're just insecure about what other people are saying about you. But why don't you listen? Maybe there's some truth in it. If everyone's saying the same thing about you, right? It reminds me of the Jay-Z lyric when he was talking about Kanye. He said, but if you think everyone's crazy, maybe you're the one that's insane, right? So is everyone else crazy, or are you the one who perhaps has the distorted view on what's actually taking place? You don't reflect my insecurities. I actually like you. I actually root for you. I actually scored the damn fight for you. I'm actually being called a crackhead because I scored the fight for you. So you don't reflect my insecurities, but I can tell you that line was written out of being insecure. And you don't need to be. All right, let me move on to before you talk, focus on your life rather than others. Like you did with Deontay Wilder. Like you did with Deontay. Right? When they asked you about Deontay, you could have said, yo, I'm focusing on my career and my life rather than others. Nah, you went to the extremes of extremes. You called him the B word, which if you were in the pod, if you were in the joint, that'd have got you stomped out. If you were on the block where I grew up, if you called someone a B, you had to be ready to fight on the spot. You couldn't even just say he's behaving irrationally or something like that. You had to go straight for the B word. Why'd you talk about his life and not focus on your own life? And I'm just using Deontay. I've heard you say a lot of things about other fighters that I can get into. I'm just using Deontay right now. Okay, so let's see the other thing he said. And lastly, before you talk, I follow the Alpha and Omega. Why you gotta bring God? Don't want no parts of what you just tweeted, bro. God don't want no parts of what you just tweeted. Not just any God. Any God wants no parts of what you just tweeted. What you just did was a sour grapes crybaby rant, and then try to bring God into it. God don't bring God into that mess. Don't bring God into that mess. Here's the deal, Tio. You are a great fighter. You're a talented fighter. Perhaps you didn't prepare enough. You got a lot going on in life. Perhaps that you weren't there mentally. There are a lot of things that could have happened. I said it on this show before. I'll say it again. Once you step through those ropes, nobody cares. There are no excuses once you step through those ropes. And you lost. The way you should have handled that loss was to say, I feel like this was a close fight, and I feel like I deserve a rematch, which Kambosos offered you a rematch, but you didn't seem too interested in taking that rematch, but maybe you could still try to get it. At the end of the day, coming at us, disrespecting us, and by us, I mean the fans and the people, is the wrong way to go about it, because if we didn't care about your fight, you wouldn't make no money. If everyone you disrespected just decided, you know what, to hell with T.O., you'd be fighting in an empty stadium, no one would tweet about you, you'd be irrelevant. If you take the praise, take the criticism. On this show, if we get the view, we'll take the comment. As long as the comment isn't because one person had a habit of going a little too far to people, whatever. We're not going to let you disrespect other people. But if it's reasonable, we'll take that. Tia, you gotta take the good with the bad, bro. But what you're doing, trying to before you ask yourself people accomplish. You really don't even want to go that route, right? Because if you're comparing people to their contemporaries, if you're comparing people to like their peers, by the age of 24, you became undisputed. but you lost it in your first offense. So, and I'll just close with this. I'm gonna give you this piece of advice that I follow, and it's helped me tremendously. The 24-hour rule. Write the message. Have it drafted, but don't press send. When you're upset, when you're frustrated and you're heated, you can be making decisions out of emotion that could hurt you later. Give yourself 24 hours. Come back to it. Read it again. And if you still feel that way, 100% press send. But if you don't, delete it, and it does you no harm. So I'm going to give that advice to everybody. Don't write in haste. Don't write in anger. Don't do that, because you may say something you regret. Give yourself 24 hours. Come back to it. And if you feel the same way, then fine. That's it.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe, and check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros. Beautiful breakdown.